Thank you very much, Herb. Thank you very much, Chris. I'm Fee Glover, and I'm a Radio 4 presenter and also just a short person. This is Cathy FitzGerald, who is an award-winning radio documentary maker, and this is Tony Phillips, who's a commissioning editor at the BBC for both World Service and Radio 4. And we want to talk to you about listening, which may seem like a rather old-fashioned concept. And I'll ask you a question to start off with. Are you listening? How many times in your life have you heard that said to you? And the answer will probably be from you, well, yes, I am. But I would say that you're probably listening and doing something else. Your brain is probably thinking, who is she again? Why do they need 3 of them on stage? Was the bridge a little bit too dark? How far are England going to go in 2012? Did I come to this session for all the right reasons? What time's my train home? All of those things might be going on through your brain whilst you're listening. And that, to us, is a shame. We want to try and elevate listening to the amazing, amazing experience that it can be. And we want to do that through the Listening Project. Now, the Listening Project is a very, very simple thing. It's conversation between 2 people who already know each other, who sit down and talk about something that really, really matters to them. And you might think, well, actually, that's about talking, that's about conversation. Well, it's not, because the art of true conversation is about listening. And you may think that you go into conversation expecting this great, big, lovely, long tennis rally, but what you usually get is the banter of a swing ball game, isn't it? Where you're immediately thinking when someone's talking to you, I know what I'm going to say back. And that takes away from the true joy of listening. When you really listen, you forget about yourself and you allow knowledge and wisdom to come into that conversation. Let me demonstrate, because some of you are thinking, oh, she's wafting on, isn't she? She's wafting on. Let me play you a conversation from the Listening Project that I think proves this point. And for this, we would like you to put on your blindfolds. Aren't you good? A strange girl comes in and tells you to wear blindfolds, and you automatically do it. Fabulous, our kind of audience, yeah. Thank you very much. And if you're watching this at home, then please join in with us, because your listening experience will only be elevated if you shut your eyes and you try and shut out some of the rest of the stuff and the distraction that will go on. So this is what the project does. It invites 2 people who already know each other into a studio where they can talk for 40 minutes. It's all arranged and produced by somebody as talented as Cathy. And the aim is to really, really think about what it is that you want to ask this person, what it is that you would like to listen to, and how you want them to listen to you. It can be the conversation that you've always wanted to have with somebody. It could be about one of those elephants in the room that are always there in relationships. Even if you live with a family member for 40 years, an awful lot of the really serious, important stuff just dances around you like hoverflies on the meniscus of life. Sasha Torbeck-Cooper is the mother of 5, and she lives in Berkshire, and she chose to have the conversation for the Listening Project with her son, Paddy. She has 5 children, and 3 of those children have congenital heart disease. Paddy is one of those. And you might think, well, that's something that they would talk about all of the time, but of course they don't, because as a parent, what you want to do is simply tell your children that they're going to be fine all the time. So they sat down, they had this conversation. Do wait for the bit when Paddy decides that he wants to tell his mum something. And remember at all times that Paddy is only 10.
Hello, I'm Sasha Torbeck-Cooper, and I'm here with Paddy, my son.
Hello.
How old are you, Paddy?
I'm 10.
Are you going to giggle the whole way through?
I don't know.
Okay. You laugh all the time, don't you? You're quite giggly. And I'm wondering, is that tooth going to fall out during our interview?
No.
Hopefully not.
No.
Today we went to the hospital, didn't we, to have an ECG monitor fitted on you for 7 days. Why are you excited about having the monitor on?
Because I don't have to have a bath or shower for a whole week.
You can still have a wash.
I know.
Because otherwise you will smell disgusting. Tell me about your heart condition. How does it make you feel when you think about it?
I think about it sometimes, like when I'm not allowed to do things at school, but I don't really think about it that much.
Do you ever get scared about your heart condition, or if your heart's racing?
Sometimes when I start to go dizzy and it starts to hurt around my heart, and my heart starts going really fast. I just think I'm going to faint or something, which I get scared about.
And this is a bit of a horrible question, you don't have to answer me. Does it scare you, the thought that you might die because of your heart condition? Or do you not ever think about it?
I don't really think about that.
That's good.
One thing I've always wondered, it's really random,
Okay, we can do random.
but why can't we hang on electric wires, but pigeons or birds can just go and sit there? And how if we go up there, we get electrocuted?
Now, I'm going to have to think in my back to when I used to do physics at school. It's to do with being earthed to the ground. And I can't think more than that, Paddy. Don't ask me technical questions. But that's good, because that means you can just carry on with your life and not worry about having your heart condition. Mm-hmm. It's like I don't have the heart condition, but I worry about you and Izzy and Scarlett, who've obviously all got the same heart condition, and I worry about it all the time. Do you know that? Do I hide it, or do you know that I get upset about it?
I know that you get upset about it.
How do you know?
Because you just walk off and then you come back and you have big black marks under your hand.
Where my makeup's run?
Yeah.
Because it makes me really sad.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be fine, won't it? Because we've got all the doctors looking after you.
Yeah.
Okay, you can take your blindfolds off now. Hello. That was Sasha and Paddy, and that is also Sasha and Paddy. And that was recorded by Graham McKechnie of BBC Radio Berkshire. And I'm sure everybody would have different favourite moments, but for me it is the birds, without any doubt at all. And for me it's because it's this tiny moment of absolute reality that you could never ever see coming. That's an absolute surprise. And that's why I love this project. It's why I make radio. It's why I spend far too much time drinking tea and eating biscuits in front lounges up and down the country recording oral history interviews. It's for one of those tiny moments when suddenly I'm completely absorbed in what somebody's saying to me, and I'm so surprised by what somebody's saying to me that the world stops. And I don't know who's heard of Studs Terkel, the late great American oral history historian, but he had a quote that absolutely sums it up for me, that I think also sums up the potential of the project if enough people can get behind it. And he was talking about the things you can do with a microphone, what happens when you point the microphone in different places. If you point it at a celebrity who's used to giving very pat answers, versus if you point it at somebody an ordinary person who isn't used to being asked questions. And this is what he said, and I'm going to read it just because I don't want to misquote Studs. The microphone can be used to capture the voice of a celebrity whose answers are ever ready and flow through all the expected straights. I have yet to be astonished by one. It can be used to capture the thoughts of the non-celebrated, on the steps of a public housing project, in a bungalow, in an apartment, in a parked car, and every statistic becomes a real person, each one unique. I am constantly astonished. And for me, that's what this whole project is about. It's about actually handing the microphone over to people whose voices aren't usually heard. And in exchange, we get to listen to something real, something unrehearsed, something astonishing. So we're going to do more blindfolds, so start assembling your blindfolds. We're going to listen to Jasmit and Jaswan. He's a doctor, she's a biomedical scientist. And they wanted to use the Listening Project to talk about their marriage, which was arranged for them by their parents in India 34 years ago. And so blindfolds on. And just before we start, if you can just take a moment just to be completely in the room. When I'm listening to someone, when I'm really listening to someone, there's always a moment when it's just me and their voice. And everything else fades away. So just take a moment just to feel the ground under your feet, feel your back against the chair, and just really listen.
I found strength in that I am near this person whom my parents have chosen for me, and he's going to look after me. So if I had to choose my own I mean, if I had to select my own, I wouldn't have found anything near you, because it is so difficult to find a life partner.
Oh yes, of course we are two different people, and it's like north and south.
Yeah.
And but the key thing is you have managed the house. Also, you are the finance minister. You look after all the affairs, because after that I've got no clue about things. And I think most fascinating, or the thing which I'm grateful to you, is because when we came to UK, it was a struggle to achieve where I am, and I had to move the jobs around on several places. You're a good cook. And I always admire your cooking, because you can cook my meat, even though you don't taste it, it's perfect.
You've always given me what I wanted, though sometimes you whinged a little bit to start with.
Well, as you know, I'm very stingy. And so much so I don't even buy things for myself. You buy my clothes, my shoes.
You don't even know the size of your underwear, do you?
That is true.
I have to get everything and keep your clothes ready in the morning in the lounge, so that you don't mismatch your turban and your tie, isn't it? But I'm so glad that you're able to pick them up and wear them, and you look really smart in them then.
A lot depends on what person's values are, because the marriage is give and take.
Don't you think it could be because we both did not have any close contact with the opposite sex before?
I mean, I think that is important, but other important thing is the way in which we have been brought up.
If I had to choose my own, first of all, I couldn't, because I would look for a package,
Because as you know, I'm a person of very few words, but I have to say that you're the most fascinating person, and you're the lovely wife. I don't think I would have had anybody better than you. You are the best.
I can't thank you enough, because you've given me the best experience in life, Life is the whole world I have in my, arms, I feel. We are together, and that it is magical.
Blindfolds off. We should have brought some tissues, really, shouldn't we? I'm Tony, and Jasmit and Jasmond, when just a few days after their recording with us, they wrote a letter to us at the BBC just to thank us. Of course, we should have been just thanking them. But one thing that they managed to do in that letter, I think, was to capture what for me is the essence of this project. What they said is this. They said, amidst our busy lives, we get so entangled with the daily routines that we sometimes forget how important it is to sit down and give 100% to the one person who matters the most. Now, as the person who's responsible for commissioning this at BBC Radio 4, I'm asked one question more than any other question, and that question is, why do people do this? Why would Jasmit and Jasmond, or Paddy and Sasha, or any of the 300 other participants who've shared their conversations with us, why would they do this? Why would they make something so private, so public? Well, actually coming to Sheffield has probably given me at least one of those answers. For those who know Sheffield, Sheffield is, of course, the home to the most audacious piece of graffiti, probably in this country. A piece of graffiti on a footbridge, on a housing estate, high up on a hill overlooking the city. And what's painted there are these words: I love you, will you marry me? Now that very public sharing of a deeply private something between two people. Well, it's something that thousands of us across cultures and races and nationalities, thousands of us do this just about every day all over the world. We get married. And it strikes me then that this very public declaration of something deeply private between these two people, it's something that we're actually more at home with than we think. And this public sharing of a private truth, I think it's so central to who we are, how we are, and why we are. Now, people are coming into our studios and they're recording their conversations, not because we're asking them to come in, but they're just deciding they want to come in and have this conversation. And they leave the studio with a copy of that conversation. And they also leave in the knowledge that it's going to be stored in the British Library as a gift for future generations. And also, they just have the satisfaction that they've done it, they've said it, and they've shared it. Now that I Love You graffiti has been given a makeover recently, I understand, and it's now been preserved in neon. Now I think that the BBC's Listening Project is something that is also shining a light on some of our collective stories and truths and wisdoms. And I think that's a great ambition that we're trying to meet. The project has only been running for about 9 weeks. And StoryCorps in the United States, based in New York, this is the project that has inspired and in many ways guided us. StoryCorps have been running now for nearly 9 years, and over that period of time, about 80,000 participants have come into their recording booths and recorded their conversations. Now, this is somewhere that I think and I hope that the Listening Project, I hope that we can reach this attainment, but we can only do it with you. Fee.
Which is why we need to ask a bit of a favour, and in return all we can say is you get to keep the blindfolds. But you do get to keep the blindfolds. You can do whatever you like with them at home. But on the front of them, we do have our website address, and the Listening Project will succeed only if we all spread the word. If you can think of a conversation that you would like to have, and so many people, since we started the project, have come up to us and said, if only I'd spoken to my grandmother before she died, if only I'd captured the memories that my father had before he went. This is an opportunity for you to be able to do this and to preserve all of those thoughts and feelings and conversations for future generations. So if you would like to take part, it will only take up 40 minutes of your time. And as Tony said, you can give a gift of your experience to the British Library forevermore. So you can also listen to all of these tiny conversations on the website, and if you do just a couple of them a day, I promise you, it's like fish oil for the soul without the haddocky burp half an hour later. It's good for you. The experience of other people's lives provides the wisdom that all of us need in order to pursue our own better. So think of the conversation that you'd like to have, get in touch with us, spread the word, join the cult. Thank you very much indeed. Enjoy your day.